Hi, I'm John Giesick. Welcome to the C-Suite Sherpa podcast, where we specialize on business experts and resources that you should know. Today we have Brady Young, who's the founder of Thrive Coaching and Consulting, and they specialize in fractional HR leadership. So, Brady, tell us about your business and who you help.
Great, John. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it and the opportunity to speak with you. Thrive Coaching and Consulting has two main offerings. One is executive style coaching for executives, directors, managers, and high potentials. That's the coaching. But today I want to talk about the main offering for the business, which is the fractional CHRO offering. CHRO is Chief Human Resources Officer. And so what that is, for small businesses who, 10 people to 100 people get an executive level talent to worry about their talent. My dad was a small business owner, and I remember his triumphs. I remember his struggles. I was little, so I don't remember much, but I remember him talking about people a lot. And so I know that was always on his mind. And these sizes of companies don't have someone like that with them. They might have a one-person HR department, no HR department. They might have a PEO handling their transactions, and that's fine and totally common. But for the businesses who want to get their business strategy and talent strategy aligned, that takes someone who's been doing this for a long time and gives them a competitive edge over their competitors.
Yeah, you bet, Brady. I appreciate that. When we talk about your clients, tell me who specifically benefits most from your offering.
Smaller businesses, so 10 people, 100 people, but these are organizations that are growing, John. If you're a 20-person company and you got a few million in revenue and you're the owner and you're just like, I don't want to grow. This is good. You don't need me. You don't need to get better or bigger. But these are organizations through natural growth, organic growth, or through acquisition, they realize that the owners realize that they don't know what they don't know. And they also realize that they can't do it themselves. They need to get the help. And the kinds of things that we help with, going back to that transactional HR that a lot of people know about, do I administer benefits? Do I do your payroll? Keeping compliance? No, PEOs or one person shops will do that for you. And that's great. That's table stakes and it's necessary. What I'm talking about is leveling up your talent, like getting them, retaining them. The reason why they want to hire us is some of the outcomes they'll see are faster hiring, better hiring, lower turnover, maybe cheaper benefits. These are things that if you're just doing the transactions, you don't have time to think of improving. And someone who does the transactional work, that's not their mind. They're just trying to tread water and help the business, right? And so we're going to come in and help you with that. Ultimately, the main outcomes we're looking for. Actually, before I say that, one other outcome that just hit me, this story that happened, I did an HR audit with one of my clients. And this is not one of the big strategic things, but it's an outcome that can happen when you have someone that looks for this stuff. They weren't deducting every 2 weeks if you have a regular job, you have benefits, and every 2 weeks they take the deductions out that is your contribution as an employee towards your health benefits. Well, they weren't taking out for a lot of people. When I figured out this wasn't happening, pointed it out, and they saved about 15 grand. The big outcomes that these businesses really want, they want customer retention and they want better profitability and more revenue. There's a lot of literature out there connecting with big businesses. The more engaged people are, the less turnover you have. Those organizations are making more money. And I'm going to prove that it's the same with small businesses. I've been doing this for 18 months, but I've been tracking my older clients, the ones I've had for a while. We're going to prove that the same rule applies. We want these organizations to win, and we're helping them do that.
Yeah, that's awesome, Brady. I appreciate you bringing up the whole HR. It's constantly evolving. It's worse than accounting and tax law. You're dealing with so many different things, so many different people, and the interactions with people from different age groups. If I'm an owner, that's the last thing I want to have to focus on. So, how do you stay up to date on all the changes that are going on in your industry?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's something else. It makes my head spin too. be honest with you. You just got to stay on top of these things. We're constantly reading, constantly educating ourselves all the time. Some of that stuff you're talking about is like more compliance oriented, and that's table stakes, right? But when we're talking about the intergenerational issues, um, it's dealing with people and, have been doing this for 21 years. Other people that I'm working with inside the organization or partners that I work with, we're constantly tapping into our long history of experience. We're working together. I talk to a lot of other consultants and we kind of bounce ideas off of each other. So having a strong network when you're a small business is really important. And that's how we stay on top of this stuff and learn as we go.
Yeah, that's great. So if we look at your industry, the HR industry, what do you think the biggest hurdle is going to be coming up over the next 5 years? And how are you going to get ready for that?
The biggest hurdle for us, well, I think maybe it's the biggest opportunity, John. And maybe that's not what you want to ask, but I'm going to switch it to biggest opportunity. I think this whole fractional thing, not just for HR, but all the way around, the fractional marketing officers and the fractional CFOs and HR people are going to really be a game changer for these small businesses, even medium-sized businesses. Like I outlined for you a profile of my ideal clients today, but I really believe that bigger organizations with more revenue, more employees, you put competent individual contributors to execute your strategy. You don't need a really high-priced person 40, 80 hours a week all the time. You need someone to come in, figure it out, set that strategy for you, mentor the other people on your team, and then get out and let those people do their jobs because they're really good at it. And that's what they want. The people you're managing don't want you to be a micromanager. They want to win on their own. You set strategy, help them be winners, and let them do the work and show their colors. I think that's the biggest opportunity in the industry right now.
I appreciate you mentioning that. If you look at your customers and the people you've been working with before you went out on your own and now, what's the biggest presenting problem that people are coming to you with and saying, "Hey, Brady, this is what you got to help me fix"? Is there one that stands out?
And it's big business and small business. People are really there's just a lot coming at them all the time, especially the last 4 or 5 years. There's been a lot of distractions in the world. We've had pandemics, things are changing and they're going so fast. Inflation, costs of things are going up. So people are bringing these concerns into the workplace and they're not being really that productive because understandably they're worried about other stuff besides their job. And so you have a lot of people who are distracted. I think the opportunity and how I've approached it is let's help remove distractions. Now, I can't go to your house and help you make the rent payment. I can't do that. However, if you're worried that you're in a lower paying job, I can't just raise you so much that you don't have to worry about money anymore. What can I do instead? Well, if you're constantly worried that the refrigerator is going to break and you're going to have to fork out $800 tomorrow, offer something to them. Say, hey, you can do a payday loan. We can forward you money. Things like that, where risk is averted, I can now concentrate on work. Do you know what I'm saying? And that, John, that's just one example. But it's this distractions that's really plaguing organizations and people. And we're tackling it.
Yeah, I could imagine that people are coming to you, they got specific goals, maybe a strategy set out, an annual strategy, and they're seeing the HR aspect as something that could thwart their efforts.
Hmm.
They want to clean that up, and you would come in and help them take care of that issue so they could focus full steam ahead.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. And also, you were kind of hinting around, John, about the idea that business leaders have maybe an accurate, thought about HR, the function. Yeah, there's a lot of HR organizations that I don't like how they run. Agreed. My organization does things differently. We're very pragmatic. We're very business oriented. You start with the person, you start with the people. They're the ones that are going to make your business better. So if you do that well, the business gets better, profits go up, everyone wins, the businesses reach their goals, and the human beings that work for you are glad to be there, and then they're reaching their professional goals as well. So, I mean, everyone wins. And you got to do it pragmatically instead of just rules based.
If it's rules based, you say, here's these 10 things, check all the boxes and let me know when you're done. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I appreciate you sharing that, Brady. So we're going to loosen our ties a little bit. relax. We're going to go into a little bit of lightning round. It's just to give the viewers an opportunity to get to know you more on a personal level. So I'll start off with some easy ones and we'll get a little bit more thinking as we go along. So I'm starting off with coffee or tea, Brady. Which one?
Coffee
Is that all day or just in the morning?
till noon.
Coffee
And then
till
that's
noon.
it.
Got
Yeah,
it.
boy, coffee after two, I'll be rattling into the evening.
That's right. How about cats or dogs? Preference?
Might not be popular, but cats. They've got
Oh,
attitude.
it's popular with some people.
Yeah, I know. But let's be honest, cats. They've
Great.
got tude, and I like it.
All right, how about okay, so I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a zombie apocalypse coming. And if you could only take one thing with you, what are you taking?
Oh, to go bag. So what I mean by that is I was just talking about this with my wife today. Back during the pandemic, we would go to an outdoor mall here in Arizona and get takeout from a restaurant, and we'd go sit on one of those benches where normally there's thousands of people shopping and walking around. Well, there's nobody. It was like a zombie apocalypse had hit the mall. It was the best. So I guess I'll have my takeout bag.
Perfect. Yeah, I remember doing local appointments during that time period,
Yeah.
and the no traffic thing in the Chicagoland area was just amazing. I'll take that any day. What about a movie? If you ever get a chance to sit on the couch, what's on the TV? If you're not a big TV guy, tell me about one of your favorite movies.
Well, the one that if it comes on TV and I didn't look for it, if it's Shawshank Redemption, I have to watch it. I don't care if there's commercials. I have to watch it.
Awesome. That's your go-to. Fantastic.
Well, I don't actually go to it. It just is on and then I watch it. I don't even think I own it, but it's on so much that I just get sucked in. But otherwise, it's baseball.
At least it's worth your time. Oh, so you're a baseball guy. Okay, great. What about a book? Give me a favorite book that you've read throughout your career or something you're reading right now.
Hmm. You probably want a professional one. Darn, the first thing comes to my mind is The Day After Tomorrow. It's a fiction book. This is actually really important for me personally because in college and growing up, I didn't like to read. And then towards the end of college, this guy goes, "Hey, read this book. You'll like to read after this." And so I pick up this book called Day After Tomorrow. And it was so great. Started to read again. And now I read all the time. That's what really changed
It
me.
turned you. That's
Yeah,
great,
it's
man.
great.
Yeah, that's impactful for sure.
It is. I mean, I read a lot of business books now and stuff like that, but that was the fiction book that changed me.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right, let's talk about the bucket list. Give me one
Oh,
thing on your bucket list that you already checked off and one thing on your bucket list that you will accomplish. Go
hmm.
ahead.
Bucket list. I have hiked the Grand Canyon, so that was on my list. I live in Arizona, so it's just upstate, so it's easy to get there. Surprised it took me this long to do it. And then the next one, this is totally nerdy, but I want to go through the Panama Canal on a boat, and I want to watch how the locks work. I know that's so nerdrific, but it's something I really want to see.
Hey, man, it's your list, buddy. You go. Do me a favor. After you do that, come back on the show and we'll talk more about it. Let's bring
Absolutely.
it home, Brady. So
Cool.
I want to know the biggest hurdle or the obstacle that you had to overcome in your success journey to get you where you are right now.
Biggest hurdle. Well, I guess it's been lately, 20, 30 years in corporate America, and 20 of those in human resources. I've supported finance, marketing, sales, IT. And now, being a business owner, I have to know enough of those things to be dangerous. And it's different. It's different. And so it's actually really exciting. I really enjoy it. But I'm also now being smart enough to know when, hey, I don't need to do that anymore. Someone does it better. So I'll hire the contractor, the fractional, whoever to help me. But yeah, going from supporting those business units in corporate America as an HR person to actually doing them has been fun.
Doing the delivery now,
It's something else. But I like it. Working on the business is as fun as working in the business. I like it.
as long as you keep track of the difference, for sure.
Right.
All right, Brady. People are going to watch this podcast. They're going to want to get in contact with you. What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, you can go to my website. It's thrivecoachingandconsulting.com. Boy, is that a mouthful. Or you can look up Brady Young, Arizona on LinkedIn, You put those in and you're going to find me. I'm probably the only Brady Young in Arizona, so you'll find me there.
That's fantastic. Hey, Brady, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. It was great meeting you. Let's connect more soon.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.